RGB. Appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. Before we get cooking, got a big announcement coming up. We got July 18th, Orchard Creek, the Cannabis Cup, being put on by New York Autoflower, Helium Collective, myself, and a few others. Pretty big event. We're really trying to get this thing cooking. The date's getting close. We got to get you guys signed up. All the info is on the Instagram page. I shared the flyer that Joe from New York Autoflower made. Make sure you go check this out, man. Joe's really been on the grind trying to put this together, working on some really, really dope sponsors in the local market. So something you guys definitely want to check out, New York Autoflower. Check out his site. The page is on there. Helium Collective, Pitch Putt Puff page. You can find the flyer with all the information. Going to have a long drive player there, hitting some tee shots for you guys. Should be a really dope event. Planning on big things. If this works out, with many more to come. Many more to come. Speaking of some of the potential sponsors, we got 420 Bliss, located at 740 Hoosick Road, right in Troy, New York. Stop up there, the Walmart Plaza. Check them out. Everything you're looking for: flowers, pre-rolls, edibles, vapes, cartridges, tinctures. You name it, they got it. They got the drinks up there. Let them know the Pitch Putt Puff crew sent you. You can check them out at 420-bliss.com. If you don't feel like leaving the house, they have a delivery service for you as well. Check them out. Order it online. Order your DoorDash. They'll get there at the same time. Then also, we always got to support Trouble Off the Tee, troubleoffthetea.com. Use promo code RGB for 15% off, as well as promo code PUFF to save yourself. Buy one, get one free on the polos. Make sure you guys take advantage of that. It's a dope offer. The polos are fire. Make sure you go check out Marty's book as well on Spotify and on Audible, Trouble Off the Tee, written by Marty Minden, narrated by Jake Adams from Country Club Adjacent. We're going to get into our guest here. We got 8th Irons out on the West Coast. Going to interview him for a few minutes, and then we'll do a slight preview into this upcoming weekend with our golf outing and the Pitch Putt Puff weekend. So take a quick break here. Stay tuned, and we'll get right back in. Welcome back to the Pitch Putt Puff podcast. My name is Roger, a.k.a. RGB. I'd like to introduce our guest tonight, going back to the West Coast. We got Dominic from 8th Iron. What's up, Dominic? Welcome to the podcast.
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me.
No doubt, man. No doubt. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into golf? Let's start there.
Yeah, so I'm basically a COVID golfer. I started like 2 months before COVID started. I grew up playing baseball, football, sports, was an athlete. And after high school, I didn't really play any sports for, 6 years probably or so. Yep. And then it's funny because my dad, he's in construction, right? And they always have those like scramble, charity tournaments and stuff. So I guess one day he goes to one, and my dad's terrible. He started, same time as me.
Yep.
And he ends up shanking a ball that on a par 3 rolls down the hill, goes up to like a foot, ends up winning it closest to the pin, and the prize for it was a $1,500 electric bike. And he would not shut up about it and would like tell everybody, look at what I got, trying to show it off and everything, which was funny. And then he talked about it so much that he's like, you need to just get out there and play. Like, I think you would like it. So I was like, okay. So I went to the range one day over in Ukaipa. It's a little bit, it's like 20 minutes from Riverside, but
okay.
Yeah, Ukaipa Valley. That was the first time I hit a golf ball. I was on that range, and I just had like, I don't know, some 80s, 90s set or whatever, hit a couple drivers, and I hit one that went like almost 300 yards, and I was like hooked like that. And then after that, I golfed the next week, and then I golfed like 2-3 times a week for like, since, sometimes awesome. I probably even golf like 5-6 times in a week, depending on what the schedule is like.
That's awesome. That's me, man. That's how my schedule helps me out to where I go into work at like 4 a.m. I get out at noon every day. I get that 12:25 tee time. I got to get the kid off the bus by 4, so I play as many holes as I can until I got to take off. So I'm getting out there at least 9 holes, but 5-6 days a week. But that's the dope thing about it too, because you being an athlete, I'm the same way. Football, baseball, basketball, my whole life. I'm getting older. I don't compete anymore. I need that juice. I need to compete at something. And not being good at golf, I'm really competing with myself every time I go out there, opposed to who I'm playing and everything else, because I know I'm better than what I'm scoring. But every year I'm progressively working to get better. And it's different parts of the game you got to work on to really get it to where you want to be.
Oh, for sure. And even when you have, 3 out of the 4 parts of the game, that one time when you go out and that part of your game doesn't show up, then your score will blow up right there too. So it's really about just having everything all together. And it's one of those things you can't master. It just takes so long. And that's why it's a lifelong sport, lifelong journey. And why I feel like so many people get addicted, because they see the glimmer of hope, on a few of those shots. And if I would have just did this, if I would have just did that, and it just,
Yep.
no matter how bad you play, it's, you hit that one good shot on the very last hole, and you're waking up at 6 in the morning to go golf again. So
Do it again. And
beauty.
that's like, and with you hitting at the range, you hit that 1-300. You're like, oh, this is dope. Like, this is something I can do this. Like, I can find enjoyment in doing this. And
Right.
that's the thing. And it's like you said, every time you go out there, you hit that one good shot that's going to keep bringing you back. Or it's to the point you're hitting a bad shot, and you're to the point where, like, I got to figure this out. I'm coming back. You're always coming back. You're always coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, tell me a little bit about Eighth Iron. What are you doing here with Eighth Iron? I'm interested to hear about this.
Yeah, so it's a cannabis-friendly golf brand. When I stopped playing baseball when I was 18, I got into the cannabis industry. I actually grew for about 7 years or so till I was 25. And then the very end of 2019, like I said, just before COVID, like a month or two before, is when I started golfing. And I was so addicted to golfing that I wanted to get into the industry. And luckily, I kind of got really good really fast. So a year and like 3 months into playing, I decided to work at a golf course. And I played in a skins game, and I ended up shooting a 70 and winning like $400 that day. And everyone was freaking out, like, who the heck is this guy? You just shot a 70. Let's get you on tour. Let's do all this stuff, right?
Right.
And so I got a coach for a little bit, and instantly I started shooting 90s again, because he changed up all this stuff I was doing. And I didn't know how to hit the ball anymore. I just like made it happen before, just like an athlete basically.
Right.
So I didn't take any lessons again after that. I had like 3 weeks in a row. Then I started shooting 90s again. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just figure this out. So within the next 5 months or so, I ended up taking the PGA PAT, and I passed it on the first try, became a golf pro. And then I worked at 2 country clubs, one in San Diego called The Heights. Used to be Xander Schauffele's home course growing up. And then most recently, I was at the Huntington Club over in Huntington Beach for about a year or so, just teaching lessons and doing everything. So I was in the industry growing. I, worked my way up. I could have been, pretty big in the industry now if I just kept going with that. But I decided I want to do something with golf, became a golf pro. So now I'm just kind of combining my worlds. And, Eighth Iron's going to be the education. It's going to be the entertainment. It's going to be the community, bringing them together, changing the stigma. It's like, I don't want to use that saying, but, bridging the gap between the 2 industries, and showing like, okay, because I'm going out there and smoking doesn't mean I'm going to leave divots. Like, I'm sanding my divots. You're fixing your ball marks. You play at good pace. You respect the course, but we're just smoking out there and we're having a good time. And, I'm trying to play good. Everybody I smoke with and play, they're trying to play good too, so
Right.
It's not just like get out there and get, high and fuck off. It's like, all right, let's get dialed in. Let's smoke a joint. Let's have a day.
Yeah, dude, it's literally that's us out here, the Pitch Putt and Puff crew, man. Like, we all go out there we play, like I said, 5-6 days a week. Most of us are out there at least 3 times a week, and no other round matters until we show up on Sunday. But we're out there to be competitive. We're out there to have a good time as well. There's trash talking, but it's never like gets carried away where it's personal. It's all ball busting. Right. And we're out there just smoking, chilling. Everybody's vibing. Like, it's a good time. Like, this exactly what you're talking about is pretty much like what we're doing out here, man. I get it, but like, what's nice about what you got where you are is you have the golf industry year round, and you have a big market out there, which is nice compared to like up here. Right. Especially like cannabis, like, just became legalized in New York 2 years. I give it now, solid 2 years, where dispensaries are actually open and shit like that. So we're a little bit behind the 8 ball in that sense, and it's I don't know, it's just more like the stigma is bigger up here than it is out definitely on the West Coast. So I think you got something to definitely take off with here, and especially with your experience on both sides of it. Now, did you cultivate for like any like you had your own brand kind of thing?
No, I didn't have my own brand. So like the way I started was when I was 18, I just had like one plant, right? And I grew that plant, and then I was like, huh, that was kind of cool. And like growing up, I was always getting in trouble, and I was always into that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
so like, why am I buying it? I'm just gonna grow this stuff, kind of thing.
Right.
And so after that first run was successful, I got it was a little like outdoor one. So I got a little tent, 4x4, grew a few plants in there. It ended up coming out really good, and I was like shocked because when I started doing it, this was like end of 2014, 2015. Like there was so much stuff on the internet that I could look up that I feel like I was able to like grow good weed right away, like and not have to. Because I feel like back in the day, nobody would post anything because they didn't want to get tracked for anything, and or didn't want to give out any secrets or things like that. So I kind of, as soon as I got that first run in, it came out good. I doubled up the size, got another tent, then I got another one, and then a buddy wanted to get a shed, and then a house. And I ended up working for a company in Long Beach called Leaf Fire, and that was like commercial warehouse style, like 20,000 lights, and or not 20,000 lights, like 600 lights, 20,000 plants. I mean, sorry about that. But yeah, like a massive warehouse. And that was when I was like really getting into golf too. Like this was probably beginning of 2020. So I was like 4 months into golf. I'd say like February 2020 is when I started working there. And then I couldn't golf anymore. And I was so addicted. I was like, man, like working actually in the industry, like I'm here like 60 hours a week. I'm driving out to LA every day, sitting in traffic, doing all this stuff. So I'm like, you know what, like I could make this same exact money on like a personal spot at home, so I just stuck with that while I kept playing. And I did that for about a year and a half after that. And then that's when 2021 was my first golf job, and I just kind of put the growing to the side. And like I got my little simulator right here now. There's a rip in the screen because of how many balls I fucking hit into this thing.
That's awesome. That's dope. So now, like with Eighth Iron, you're gonna have like an apparel line, like your plans to have like an apparel line and all that.
Yeah, some merch. So like right now I have hats. This is one style. Palm Golf makes these. They're a local, like Huntington Beach brand, if you've heard of them. I have another style too that has like a tea holder. They're like the melon hats kind of. But I like to put my joint in it and just have that sticking out of it. I don't have that one on right now. But then apparel eventually, I think that'll be a little bit down the line, as far as polos, just because of, how much money you got to put in to get sizes and all the different SKUs and everything. So I'm going to stick with the hats. I have a stash box rolling tray right now. So I'm going to keep building off of that and make more inserts in my box. So you can do various things, but and then also I'm planning on making, somewhat of a YouTube and sort of like entertainment aspect, throw tournaments and things like that.
Okay. See, that's what's nice too. Like we're doing our first cannabis tournament up here. I'm a part of July 18th, and it's a struggle to get people like I think it's really a struggle to get people wanting to be seen in that atmosphere and become comfortable in that atmosphere, like the regular golfers. Because there's a lot of guys who go out and see them, they're hitting their bowl like, sitting in their car, ducking down, hitting their bowl or something. Where, like, I don't care anymore. Like, even years prior, you're going out there and you're always smelling it on the course somewhere, and it's obvious. And like, golf and cannabis are two things that bring people from totally different walks of life together. It's literally two of the only things. Those two and music are, the three things that really bring people together from any walk of life. Right. And it's crazy to like see how like legit it's getting up here. And like with this tournament, we're slowly building it up. I think we got about 45 people or so signed up right now. Got some cool vendors popping up and shit like that. So it's going to be a fun little experience. But like out there, you're going to have all the people in the world trying to be a part of that.
Yeah, there's quite a few actually. I mean, I play in them and I've set up at a few of them with, my hats, a tent set up and like my booth and everything. But they basically there's a vendor on every single hole. Yep. You're walking away with bags and bags. It's just a good time when you're out there. And then I feel like when everybody's smoking out there, there's like less drama, like if everyone's drinking and then by the end of the day somebody's too fucked up, and I feel like alcohol leads to more dumb shit than weed does. So
Absolutely.
like, oh well you're smoking on the course and you're doing this and that, like thinking it's criminal, but like drinking, I've seen people flip carts, I've seen people drive into trees, I've seen people fight, like, so that's the one that gets you going more.
Yeah, and then not even that, you were talking about pace of play earlier. Like, we're not slowing down the pace of play by passing a joint. You're slowing down the pace of play by stopping with the cart girl for 20 minutes, flirting with her, getting shots, and doing all this other shit. That's what's slowing down pace of play half the time.
No, exactly. And then they could have already been behind at that point, and then that 20 minutes gets added right on top of that, and then you're frustrated, and then not a good time.
That's my least favorite thing, man, is slow pace of play. It just kills my game, dude. It literally just kills my momentum and kills the game.
Oh, for sure. If you're getting a rhythm, like a lot of golf is staying steady, but like a steady rhythm, if that gets messed up at any time, like you're going too fast at one point, too slow, whatever, you can't keep it going.
Yeah, because my thing is, like I said, baseball, basketball my whole life. And I played baseball lefty. So I had no lefty golf clubs when I started, so I just started hitting righty. So it took me a couple of years how to learn. I was hitting, like, when I first started, like 130s, consistent, 125, 130. Now I'm down to like the mid low 80s, I'll say mid 80s consistently. Anywhere from an 82 to an 87 on a consistent day. But I have my days where I'm in the 90s once in a while. But it's been a grind. Like, it's either I'm having trouble off the tee or I can't chip this day. I can chip with my approach, but I can't chip with my 60, which I usually use. Like, I'm never consistent. It drives me fucking crazy. And I put the time in too, man. Like I said, I'm out there 6 days a week. And like Fridays and Sundays, my league's on Friday, the pitch, putt, and puff on Sunday. Those are the rounds I focus on. But most of the time when I'm out there, I'm practicing. I'm literally working, like, all right, today I'm going to work on my hitting the center of the green on all my approach shots and doing shit like that. But it never really works out the way I planned for it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's golf. Yeah,
it's golf. I did shoot a 39 on the front yesterday. That was one of my better rounds so far this year on the front nine. The course I play at, man, the greens are torture. They're very undulated. The pin placements are a bitch, and they're fast as hell. Very firm. Very firm.
Nice.
Yeah. What's some of the courses you play out there?
Well, right now I just recently started. I'm teaching over at a spot in Riverside called Canyon Crest. So I've been playing that a lot. They used to be private, but they actually just opened up to the public a few months back. So, it's semi-private, so there's still some members. I wasn't able to get on there before, when they were private. So now I've just been going there all the time, teaching. And then I like every once in a while I'll hit up Oak Quarry. I just don't want to spend the $150. It used to be like $60 to play that spot. It's a pretty cool spot. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like
I have.
Built in the middle of a quarry and like rocks and shit. So that's a dope course. It has cool views. But I think one of my all-time favorites, if you know where Temecula is Cross Creek. It's like in the back mountains of Duluth, in that little area. It's like wine country basically.
Okay.
And like you have no cell service. No one could bother you. It's undulated greens. It's firm, fast, and there's like a lot of OB. It's like placement golf. And so you just go out there and you kind of just get lost out there, and it's a fun time. I like that course a lot.
That's the course all the dads who don't want to hear from the wives and kids and everybody go to, and like, I had no service at the course, and those are the ones where you see the memes where my husband said it takes 9.5 hours to play 18 holes of golf. Sure does, absolutely.
No, definitely, yeah, that's a good spot. What about you? You played any spots out here?
No, I haven't. I've never been out to Cali. I've been to Hawaii, but I wasn't golfing out there. I was out there for a wedding, and then I was out there once when I was a kid. I've never been to Cali. I played in Texas. I played down at Slick Rock down in Texas. It's probably an hour outside of Austin. We played at the resort. It's a PGA. There's PGA events at this course. It was beautiful. It was legit, like, to me, because in upstate New York, we're looking at pine trees and oak trees all day, opposed to palm trees and cactuses and everything else. So just to get that experience and seeing shit like that is cool to us. the dry heat and everything. Playing in a different atmosphere was really cool. That's probably the nicest course I ever played on. The coolest course I played in Aruba on a little getaway with the wife, and this was like my second year playing golf, and I mean I was struggling. I was still in like the high hundreds, and like the 110s, 115 area. And I went and played this course. I rented clubs, so I'm using clubs I'm not familiar with. I don't know how far I hit these things. I got a garage sale set I'm still using at home, and these are some halfway decent. I think it were like the Callaway Epics or something like that when I was using them. And I'm like, oh, nice new clubs, something like this. All right, so I go out there and start playing. I get hooked up with this guy from like South Carolina, and I felt so bad because I know I killed his pace of play. I was shanking the ball over, but it got to the point where he started giving me tips. And he's like, do this. And I started, obviously I'm going to listen to him because I'm terrible. And it started making a difference. And then I said, buddy, you just go ahead and enjoy your day. I don't want to slow you up anymore. By like the 7th hole, he was gone and I was just playing by myself. But like playing with the ocean breeze and shit like that was very tough to deal with. It's such an amateur golfer.
Yeah.
But what's, shit, what was I going to say? What's your plans for like some tournaments? You got anything lined up?
So I don't have an official date yet, but the first week of October, I'm working on putting together some sort of fusion cannabis golf, type tournament like I've been to, but not have it exclusively to cannabis and not have it exclusively to golf. So like have a good mixture of both kind of vendors there. Yeah. And scramble format, obviously, but something that I want to do, which is I feel like better for these scrambles, and people think the pace of play might actually be slower, but it's actually not, is having 8 people in one group playing, so that way the 2 foursomes could keep each other's score, keeps everybody honest. Yeah. But then since you have 2 groups moving at once, it actually flows a bit better, because instead of the A going off, then the B going off, and each group takes 15 or more minutes to play the hole, they play it together at 20, 22 minutes, something like that, and you actually save a bit of time. But that's something that I feel like would keep the scores honest. And, some of these prizes are pretty crazy, and you don't want to get pencil whipped, and I'm trying to make it a pretty cool tournament. And I know a lot of good golfers have come out, because I know a lot of these cannabis industry guys are bringing their sticks and, all their ringers, because they're trying to make, have their brand. And so like there's actually a lot of scratch plus handicaps going out at these things.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of that up here. It's like the plus handicap guys jumping in tournaments, but like I love those videos too, where you see the guys come in on a tournament, the scramble, and they're shooting like 42s or whatever. They come in some crazy score, and they're like overweight, 65, 70 years old. It's like, all right, man, like unless you're buying mulligans or whatever in tournaments, like still.
Right.
That's craziness. That's absolute craziness.
Yeah, no mulligans, no holes where you could buy a score or like have a drive put out. Like it's just gonna be real scramble golf. There's gonna be a ton of weed, food. Everybody's gonna have a good time, and the course that it's gonna be at is gonna be, it's gonna be a good track that I don't think a lot of people have came out to play. So yeah.
Nice. That's dope. Good luck planning that. If you want to come back on and promote when we get a little bit closer to that date, we can definitely do that as well.
Okay, sounds good.
But I usually like to wrap up with 3 questions. What's your favorite club in your bag?
I guess this one will be an obvious one. I say my 8th iron for sure.
That's great. 8th iron. Good pun. The 8th iron. Yeah, mine's my 7, just because I hit it. I can do anything. I'm pretty versatile with it. I can hit it a good distance, put a loft to it, hit it low, bump and run, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite strain you've ever smoked?
You know what? I remember this strain from high school, and I ended up growing it for, a few years because it was like nostalgic. Was Granddaddy Perp. I remember I was like a freshman in high school, and I saw this crazy purple weed, and I was like, man, I want to smoke that shit. So that was my favorite strain for a while. And then I remember Tangi was up there too for a while.
Yeah.
But now, like, I went back to liking some real OGs because I feel like everything's purple nowadays. Everything's crossed. So, like, there's not too many, true strains. Like, everything candy flavor, everything is, terpenes added on the joints and, all that stuff. So, just trying to go back to the roots, kind of smoking, some real OG.
Yeah, that's what, dude. I was just talking about this with someone the other day because, like, I was a huge fan of like the old school sour, like sour. Being from New York, like sour was the taste, the high, the flavor, the whole everything about it was like it was perfect. And now you can't even like come anywhere close to finding that. It's gone. It's completely gone. It's been crossed so many times. The OG strand has disappeared. Like you never see it again. It sucks. It sucks because that was some bomb shit back in the day, especially like in the early 2000s when it was really up here in upstate New York. The shit was fire. Now it's more like I'm more of like a haze. I like a nice sativa to kind of keep me focused throughout the day and shit, and then an indica to crash me out, put me to bed.
Yeah, we'll have to get those seed hunters to go out to some of those areas again and get the original seeds.
Get them sour, man. Shit, bring it back. Bring it back. And then last question: who's three people you would add to your foursome you were playing with, and what's three people you'd add to your group for a round of golf?
That's a tough one. I say I put my dad in there for sure.
Dope.
He's up a good time when we're out there. He's a funny guy. As far as pros, I'd want to maybe Brooks. I think I'd put Brooks in there. I like Brooks.
Okay.
And maybe Max Homa. That'd be a funny one.
Yeah, Max is cool dude. Yeah, that's good. Those are some good ones. Yeah, Brooksy's. I like Brooksy, man. Brooksy don't give a shit. I just like his. I don't give a shit. Literally, he does not care. Says what's on his mind. That's my dude. I like him. Him and DJ are probably DJ and Tommy Fleetwood, my top three right now. In the PGA, well, in the golf world.
That's a good three.
But my three for a foursome, I always say would be. I would have Michael Jordan, because I'm a basketball guy. I'd get Tiger out there, and then Jason Williams, White Chocolate. You remember White Chocolate used to play for the Kings back in the day?
Yeah.
That dude. Yeah, he's a golfer. He's a smoker now. The whole 9 yards. Got his own little podcast thing he's doing, but he's always out in the golf course posting videos and shit. That's my dude. I used to love him back in the day when he played for I'm a Heat fan, so back when he played for them. No doubt. Yeah, man. I'm planning on coming out there in the fall. So if I do, we'll definitely link up, get around the golf in. Have you come play I'm going to be at a Legends event. We're going to set something up. Have you come play in a Legends event over at Whispering Lakes or something. But,
okay, yeah, I'm down. That's dope.
We'll figure it out when the time gets a little closer. But I really appreciate you coming on, man. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me right now on Instagram at 8th_iron. Yeah, just stay tuned. I'm going to have a drop with some new hats coming. YouTube is probably, within a couple of months of being premiered, basically. And I'm still just going to post some challenges and everything on Instagram. So I'm going to be trying to entertain for now.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Any way I can help get you promoting out there, let me know. Like I said, I appreciate you coming on. And we'll talk soon. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'll give you a quick preview of this upcoming weekend of the Pitch Button Puff. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you, man. Really appreciate Dominic jumping on. He's got some big plans with the brand coming up with 8th Iron. Love the concept. Kind of the same concept of the Pitch Button Puff, minus the podcast portion. Just getting a good group of people out there, having a good time, playing a little golf, being competitive, taking a little puff out there, and enjoying a beautiful sunny day on the golf course. Speaking of that, we're going to try to get out there this Sunday for the Pitch Button Puff. Saturday, we have an outing at Schenectady Municipal where majority of the guys from the Pitch Button Puff are playing. I think we're going to be down like one or two guys, but I think primarily all 8 guys are in. Going to be playing over there. It's our mid-year outing with our Friday night golf league, so it should be a pretty good time to play a different course. Haven't really played a different course this year besides the scramble earlier in the season. But Sunday, JR is going to be out this week. We won't have JR out there. Going to have Anthony and Mikey from the Upstate Golf guys filling in. Filling in this week. Parisi's out as well, and Brad will be out of town. So 3 guys will be out. Got 2 guys filling in. That's how we roll. Real quick replacements. It was literally one text, and they were both in. So nice, easy replacements this week. So gonna go Raj. I'm gonna ride with. Let's go with Mikey this week. I haven't played with Mikey yet, and then we'll go. Let's see. We'll go Anth. We'll go Anth and Fairway. We'll group those 2 guys out. That'll be a fun time. And then we'll go Steve and we'll go Bob. And then Kev and Hank will roll together. I think I had that group together last week, but we'll just mix it up a little bit. Anthony and Fairway are big fans of each other, so that'll be some entertaining golf. It's going to be interesting. We really don't have that one guy who's going to shoot the low score anymore. No one's really stepped above and really taken the role of the low scorer this season. It's been mixed up every week. Parisi's had some low scores with a 79, a couple low 80s. Myself and Bob have been around the low 80s. JR, Steve hit or miss with a decent round in the low 80s. So Hank as well. Hank's creeping in there. Hank's been on a hot streak. Hank has been playing really good for the past couple weeks. Hopefully he keeps it rolling into this weekend. So it's literally anybody's round. Anthony's coming off an 82 at his most recent golf week event. Mikey hasn't played in a while. Fairway is another one. If he focuses on golfing, opposed to just busting balls all day, he can come out there and put up a good score. He's got to play his course management, as he tells me all the time, which I've been starting to do, and it's really, really starting to pay off for me, especially on the front nine the past few days. Hopefully I keep that rolling in. So we'll see what happens this week. It's going to be an interesting scores coming in. Hopefully the weather holds off for us. Supposed to get some rain over the weekend on both days. Hopefully it holds off until later in the day, until we get the rounds in, and can get some golf in for both days. But really appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate Dominic from 8th Irons for jumping on. Really interested to see where he goes with that out there on the West Coast. I think with his connections and the people he knows, could bring some really cool opportunities for him out there. But once again, it's going to be Raj and RGB and Mikey. We got Anthony and Fairway for the first group, and then we got Steve and Bob rolling together, and then we got Hank and Kev. So I don't care who rides with who. We can just figure it out, but we'll put the groups for that for now. Scheduled to change as always. Could get a late cancellation, but that's what it is for now. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and make sure you go check out 420 Bliss, located at 740 Hoosick Road, right in Troy, New York. Also on the website 420-bliss.com. They have a delivery service available, and troubleofthet.com. Promo code RGB for 15% off site wide, as well as promo code PUFF to save yourself. For buy one get one free on the polos. So make sure you take advantage of that. And we'll talk to you soon. Later.